Namaskaram, Kerala, Kerala, beautiful Kerala. We have just touched down in God's own country, and today we're going to explore the beauty of Kerala, the beauty of its nature, and why it connects so much with my home, the United Arab Emirates. What is it like for an Arab in this Indian state? So what does the word Kerala mean? It comes from Kera, which means coconut, and La, which means land. And the reason this state is given this name is because of the vast amount of coconut trees across this land. Kerala is also known as God's own country. I would see mosques, temples, churches, and synagogues all seem to be so intertwined into different communities that surround this state. And there was a certain type of natural harmony that I experienced, which says to me that someone can come to Kerala and no matter what their faith is, find a home here. But before we do anything, chai. Bismillah. I am ready. We are now at Fort Kochi, that is known as the Queen of the Arabian Sea. Now, why is it called that? Because it flaunts some of the most beautiful harbors in the world, and for many centuries was known to be the center of the spice trade. So Fort Kochi is a place where a lot of tourists will come and you can get a lot of souvenirs, you see a lot of color and art, but it is also a place that reminds you of the importance of the fishing community in this part of the world. So we are talking about the relationship between Kerala and the United Arab Emirates. And if you look behind me, that is Port Kochi, that is run in partnership with DP World. DP World being a UAE port operating company. So you look back at the history of trade between our two countries, still alive today. Another big connection between the UAE and Kerala is probably something very familiar to everyone who lives in the UAE. That is Lulu Hypermarket. And the whole Lulu industry is run by Mr. Yusuf Ali, a Keralite that is based in Abu Dhabi. And that was a business that was started in Abu Dhabi that built one of the biggest malls in the region, Lulu Mall. I don't know why I feel like this is the first time I've been in a mall. This is beautiful. It's huge. I think the saying goes, a rising tide lifts all ships. And for me, this is the greatest example of it. You know, everyone grows together. So the United Arab Emirates has sort of adopted biryani in a special way. This is something that has influenced us. We eat it, we enjoy it, we love it. We're going for mutton biryani. We're gonna have that. That's gonna be my only meal for the day. I haven't had breakfast because they told me we're gonna have this. Bring it on. I'm ready. Bismillah. You can taste every single spice. It sticks to the back, so you can see why they put the pineapple and why they put the coconut milk to balance it out. But it's just, oh, it's gorgeous. So the traditional way of eating this biryani, imagine on top of all these flavors, they still have more. So you add a little of the achar, which is like the pickle. Then you take a little bit of the onion. So if you can see it there, we put that on top of the meat. Then you take it with some rice. You eat it. You know when you were in high school and you got your grades back on the test and someone got 102 and everyone's just looking thinking, how? Now, we're talking about the connection to UAE and Kerala. Something that I found quite interesting is they have a drink that is well known in the state, and it's called the Sharjah Shake. Now I have no idea what it is, but we found a juice store. Let's explore how the culinary this came to be. This is a guava banana boost with ice cream, chocolate, and strawberry on the top. The funny thing is, I've asked people why is it called the Sharjah Shake. They're like, I don't know. But I have to assume that it was a Keralite living in Sharjah that brought it back here. Bismillah. All that goodness. All right, we are back at the hotel. Time to get changed. We have seen the city. We've seen the hustle and bustle, the life, the colors. But what if we went up into the mountains now and things slowed down? All right, middle of Kerala, going up the mountains, just, you know, minding our own business. We drive, we stop, we see this. So these are the 7 rulers of each of the 7 emirates that make up the United Arab Emirates, our home country. Here they are, their pictures up here in front of a shop in the mountains in Kerala. That's love. So you're from Kerala, you started the business in the UAE, then you brought the business here. Yeah. And this is your memory. Yeah. That's amazing. Why do the people of Kerala, they can go and work anywhere in the world. Why do you think they go to the UAE?
Because in UAE, most of people are Arabs, and we like Arabs too.
So here we have all the ouds, all the incenses, all the different types. Oh man, what a selection. Did you live in UAE also?
Yeah.
I like this one.
How many years?
24 years.
24 years in the UAE? I'm telling you, every single person we run into, they've either lived there, know someone who lives there, has a family who's lived there. How long were you in the UAE?
For 3 years.
3 years, and you 18?
18 years.
So 3 years in the UAE, 18 years in the UAE, 24 years in the UAE.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Here you go.
No, thanks.
It's a gift for you.
No, let us pay.
No, please. No, it's okay. It's a gift for you. No, please. No. It's a gift from us. It was your first time in our shop.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's an honor, wallah. So when I was flying to Kerala, I didn't know what to expect. But I was excited, as if I was coming to a new country, to see all these new things and exciting things and experience this place for the first time. But that's not what I felt when I got here. Experiencing Kerala for the first time felt natural. I didn't feel like I was somewhere new. I felt like I was part of who I am, part of my home. And I think that's the reason that the UAE and Kerala are so intertwined. And there was nowhere in Kerala that I would walk where someone wouldn't look at me dressed like this and greet me with a warm smile, Assalamu alaikum, and start talking about how they used to live in the UAE, or how they have family or friends that live in the UAE. And there was always this warmth, like I was bringing back beautiful memories of their time there. And what I feel is that beyond the business and beyond the relationship between UAE and Kerala, what stands out the most is the human connection. The love that we have for each other, and how no matter if a Keralite is in the UAE or an Emirati is in Kerala, we feel like we're home. And that is the deepest of love. Much love, and God bless you all.